Good, beautiful morning. It is Monday, September the 26th, 2022. I want to welcome you to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul, where we channel messages from ascended masters, multidimensional beings, guides, fairies, and other individuals that want to speak through us at this time. Today I have with me the energy of the Galactic Federation of Light, and they wanted to communicate what you must know right now for yourself. This isn't something that you have to know for anybody other than yourself. We're going to get into that in just a moment. There are so many things happening on this planet today, energetically. There's these energies coming to the planet. Science is measuring these energies coming in as cosmic radiation, X-rays, photons. They measure it at one level of frequency that they can detect with their instrumentation, but there's these other energies coming in that are what we call ascension energies, and these ascension energies give you the opportunity to elevate your consciousness. There's no middle ground with these energies that are coming in right now. They're either going to elevate you up or you're going to go down with them. Depends on what the state of your mind is, the state of your thoughts, and the state of your emotions. And again, what we're going to be discussing today is what you must know now in order to use these energies to evolve your consciousness up instead of getting it devolved down. Most people are unaware of these energies coming to the planet. They just feel a mood or an upset or a frustration. They're not aware that there's actual transformational energies coming into this solar system, affecting our sun, affecting our planet. And these energies are real. They're functional. They cause changes in our thoughts. They cause changes in our emotional field. They cause changes in our biology. And again, there's nothing to be afraid of here. Just understand what these energies are and how you can begin to utilize them. Good morning, everybody. Hello, Jenny. Good to see you. Wonderful. Hello, Adam. Wonderful to see you there, Adam. Hi, Sunny, Madeline. Hello, TikTok. We are at a very exciting time in human collective unconsciousness now. One of the things that they were saying to me is it's really important to let everybody know that we are not separate from each other energetically. We are individualized by the nature of our personalities. They keep saying we are individualized only by the nature of the personality that we have that's conditioned into that body that you find yourself inhabiting. The personality that you go by, whether it's Jenny or George or John or Mary Lou. The only thing that makes you separate from everybody else is the individualized personality. But there's this underlying layer of consciousness and energy called the collective unconsciousness. They're saying they want me to keep it really, really, really simple. There is your awareness, which is your soul. There is the information in your mind called the astral realm of information. And then there's what's called the emotional energy field that activates these thoughts, these energies into behavior. And then there's the unconscious field of energy. So your soul, the astral realm, emotional energy, and the unconscious field of collective energy. We generally live on all those planes, but we're consciously often only aware of one at a time, but all four of them are functioning simultaneously. It's important you begin to learn to distinguish yourself either as an individual, become less subjective to the influences of the collective, and begin to inject an effect into the collective unconsciousness that will elevate it up. The current paradigm of consciousness on this planet loans itself more to fear and suffering than it does to joy and possibilities. This must become a conscious choice. You must consciously decide to be aware that your thoughts are not who you are, that your emotions are the substance of creation that you utilize while in this physical dimension. All the functions of every human is a product of emotional qualities of energy that they are indulging in at any given moment. The nature and quality of your emotions is amenable to your change. You can alter and change your emotional energy by the way you use your thoughts, by the place from where you acquire thoughts. Thoughts and ideas restructure the emotional energy from one state to another. Certain qualities of thoughts will elevate energy upwards. Certain qualities of thoughts will lower energy downwards. And we again use the terms of up and down very carefully. Down denoting a state of energy vibration that tends to be experienced as lower in nature, in that it could be considered as sadness or pain or depression or hurt or what of the lower spectrum of fear there is. And the higher spectrum of fear are the higher vibrational thoughts of playfulness, kindness, compassion. Learning to make a distinction in your conscious awareness about what thoughts you will choose to give your attention to, whether those thoughts are in your own mind or the thoughts that are presented to you from other sources outside of your individual body. That is, the mechanisms around you, the people around you, they can provide you with sources of thought that may elevate your energy up or reduce your energy down. And we're not here to pick sides simply to say that you are in a position that you must become conscious of, that you are choosing to allow thoughts and emotional qualities into your consciousness that will elevate your energy up. Now, you do not have to do this. You can choose to lower your vibrational energy down by indulging in thoughts, ideas, and information that lower your frequency down, or you may indulge in thoughts, emotions, and frequencies that elevate your consciousness up. But there is not one among you that can escape the responsibility of this process of choosing what vibrational energy that you are going to choose to vibrate on. And every thought that takes you up in frequency, there are an equal number of thoughts that can take you down in frequency, but you have choice over which ones you will give your attention to. And the nature and quality of those thoughts will determine the nature and quality of the emotion and the behaviors that you will enact on your day-to-day experiences in this physical dimension. We simply wanted to offer you the fundamental information that allows you to make a deliberate choice about what vibrational frequency you will exist on. In the coming years, for approximately an additional 22 years, you have a great window of opportunity as a collective species to enable a future reality, that gives you the opportunity to explore, understand, and comprehend realms of consciousness and dimensions of experience that are currently outside the scope of your current vibrational spectrum. When you are able to elevate yourself up high enough in frequency, you will experience very different realities than the one you're currently experiencing. As equally, you can lower yourself in frequency and experience other realms of consciousness that are outside your current realm of experience. But you are in the position, each and every one of you, that you must become conscious and aware that you can deliberately and intentionally raise or lower the vibrational state that you are predominantly in at any given moment of your experience while in that physical dimension that you find yourself hearing these words from right now. You are not that body that you are utilizing. It is an instrument that you currently possess. And you will hear this message repeated from many beings across many planes and many dimensions of consciousness. There are certain commonalities on this dimension that cannot be overstated nor underscored enough. That in this dimension, there are very simple facets of information and experience that you can develop and cultivate as a function of your deliberate awareness. That is to be aware deliberately of what thoughts you will give attention to, what ideas you will focus upon, what imaginings you will choose to generate, for each will create its own emotional field, which in turn will cause very functional actions to occur in the physical realm. That is, very specific emotional energies cause very specific actions to flow through your body. This is something that is universally true on this physical dimension. It does not matter what planetary system you come from. If you are in this physical dimension, there are certain principles that are true across all planes on this physical dimension. That there is a realm of thought, there is a realm of energy, and a realm of action each of these are interacting with each other at any given point in time. You can raise or lower your frequency within the spectrum of this physical dimension. And you, as awareness, as one who recognizes that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your emotions, that you are not that body, but that you utilize these elements of creation in this physical dimension. But in this place of awareness, you, as awareness, may begin to explore beyond the confines of this physical dimension. You have the capacity as awareness to do this. Your body does not have the capacity to explore beyond the physical dimension. Your thoughts do not have the capacity in and of themselves to go beyond the dimension of thought. Nor does your emotion have the capacity to go beyond the dimension of affecting thought, matter, time, and space as it currently does. Only you as awareness can shift your perceptual consciousness away from the physical and astral dimensions and begin to perceive realms of information and consciousness that are currently unavailable through the 5 physical senses. In this process of awakening, you may become aware of these other senses that you currently have available to you that are inwardly driven. That is clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairgustance. These are non-physical senses that you as an awareness must learn to develop if you are to learn to function beyond the physical dimension consciously. Many of you leave this physical dimension and fall out of a conscious state. You become so aware and attached to the physical state, the personality that's been created as the only locus of your identity, that you can't even conceive of yourself outside of what you already know. But from the mere perspective of becoming aware of your thoughts, in that realm of awareness, you begin to differentiate yourself. You begin to differentiate yourself from the confines of the astral and physical dimensions when you begin to approach your consciousness from the perspective of awareness. That is aware that you have a body, that is aware you have thoughts, you are aware you have emotions, but you are not the thoughts, you are not the emotions, you are not the body. They are instruments that you use in the function of your creation in this physical dimension. To the degree and extent that you cultivate that awareness, to that degree and extent you have the opportunity to begin to break free of what you would call the cycle of life and death, birth and rebirth. And we use those words very carefully, for from our perspective, there is no such thing as death. There's simply the transformation and transmutation of energy from one state of existence into another state of existence, much the same way as you can say that the ice cube you hold in your hand is solid, but when you melt it, it becomes a liquid. And when you increase the vibration of that liquid, it becomes invisible. So too, your awareness, your consciousness goes through a similar process. So too does the body go through a similar process. So too does the individualized personality you have go through a similar process of transformation and transmutation. And in your state of awareness, you yourself have the opportunity to begin to function independent of these planes of consciousness, but you cannot ignore the responsibility of creation. Each and every one of you is a functioning creative intelligence, both individually and collectively. And what you must know is that the functions of the individual do indeed influence the functions of the collective, whether you're aware of that or not. You might see yourself as an individual in that body, but there is an interconnecting energy between all human individuals, all substance of matter, for it interacts with itself all the time. That which is physical becomes invisible. That which is invisible becomes physical. In your knowing that you have the capacity to alter and change both your individuality and thereby the collective consciousness of your entire species, you have an opportunity to create tremendous energetic changes in your experience of this physical dimension. The process of repeated experience, that is, recurring events of time and space, like your civilizations have gone through over the last 72,000 years. Your civilizations have risen and fallen and risen and fallen in your continuous attempts to get liberated from subjectivity to it. And the reason you cannot get free of your subjectivity to it is because you do not understand the interrelationship between the individual and the collective. If you understood this more fully and completely, you would loan yourself to a transcendental collective state unfolding for humanity as a whole. This would be very difficult to conceive of from your existing scientific paradigm, which measures things very empirically and identifies things as objects, observing cause and effect from the realm of measurable, observable perceptions. But it does not loan itself to the invisible realm of perceptions. Only that which is measurable gets considered by your existing scientific paradigm. And so you remain trapped in this cycle of civilizations rising and falling, watching the planetary systems go through these wakings and falling asleep, where they go through a huge change, where you watch planets and civilizations change and evolve and crumble and rise and fall. But your consciousness, when awakened thoroughly, both individually and collectively, will loan itself to a great transcendent opportunity, in that you will not cease to function strictly as the society that you see today. The society that you see today is but a small version of what was much greater before, but has the equal amount of potential in becoming something far vaster and greater. If you do not understand the connection between your individuality and your collective consciousness, and learn how to utilize both effectively, then you will continue to repeat the cycle again and again and again. The cycle is only necessary until you realize that the cycle is not who you are. Your conceptions of what life are very restricted and limited to your experience in that biological organism you're in that body you find yourself. Your experiences, your understanding of life is restricted and limited by that. But the very obvious fact that you can observe your thoughts, that you can orchestrate the activities of your body, all of you can do that. You can orchestrate the activities of your body as a function of your will, that you can do that with your body, that you can alter and change qualities of information in your mind, that is, the thoughts you have in your mind. You can restructure memory in your mind. You can alter and change the emotional energy associated with anything connected to your individualized experience. And in that place of awareness, you move into the realm of functioning as a deliberate creating intelligence, where you're deliberately able to affect and alter conditions of time, space, and matter as a function of your soul, not a function of your individualized personality. Although the individualized personality is necessary for each body to be directed individually and independently of others. But you can never wholly and completely separate yourself from everyone and anything else in this physical dimension, as there is a unifying field that brings you all here together to do this. To summarize this quite simply, it is important you begin to recognize that you are an awareness, a soul, a spirit of universal light that has the capacity to utilize the mechanisms of thought, which is an astral realm of energy, a non-physical realm of information, that you can utilize that realm of information to affect, alter, and change the qualities of energy that move into expression in the physical dimension. That is, you can utilize very specific qualities of thought, ideas, and information to generate electromagnetic fields in the form of emotions that in turn cause functions that you call behavior to go through that physical body, causing the physical body to function, think, say, and do in very specific ways according to the emotional energy being allowed to go through the system. That process of creation is under your dominion, and that process of creation is universal among those living in this physical dimension. And learning to understand this, you can begin to deliberately articulate a whole nother realm of experience and consciousness, both individually and collectively. But there's not one among you on this planet that is not separate in the participation of your collective experience. What you see happening and experience in this physical world, All of you are participating in it to varying degrees. There's not one among you that is not participating in this physical dimension. If you understand what we have said today, then you place yourself in the position of reevaluating the thoughts that you've been holding in your mind, both the thoughts that you've gathered yourself and those thoughts that have been impregnated into your consciousness from the moment you were conceived into that physical body. Those are the thoughts that you've acquired and the thoughts that you generate, and your capacity to alter and change those, and the corresponding emotions that you've acquired from those experiences and thoughts. Your capacity to deliberately articulate a change over them moves you into the realm of deliberately being able to affect the creation of your experiences at any point of time and space. Emotional energy is the substance that manufactures and organizes all of your experiences in this physical dimension. All of your experiences in this physical dimension are orchestrated by the qualities of emotion that are generated and stimulated by the nature and quality of the thoughts that you hold in your consciousness at any given point in time. If you have heard these words and you've heard them well, blessings to you. Learn that you are a soul, awakened and aware, independent of your thoughts, independent of your emotions, independent of that biology. But they're elements of creation that you must learn to manage consciously and deliberately. Thank you, guys. Morning, everybody. Wow. Hello, Sunny. Hello, Joelle. I'm just scrolling down here. Question from Adam for Pan. Are there any specific spirit species that only has one aspect, either light or dark? And if so, explain the energetic dimensional properties. He's saying only relative one to another. One that is less light, as you say, than another might be perceived as dark by the one that is more light, but they are relative to one another. Again, this is a perceptual choice that you will make from the perspective that you are currently observing the phenomena of your experience of reality. And understand this, that light and dark, perception, good and evil, are simply that which you choose to observe from the perspective of your position in consciousness, which you may change at any time. That which was good can be bad, and that which was bad can be good. Wow. Question from Tanya. They found spots in my mom's brain, and they are now wanting to do a scan. Is it something to be of concern? She always expects the worst. Well, what we would simply say to her on this regard is that she expects the worst, and she chooses to continue to do that, then eventually she will gain what she expects. You must understand the nature of creation as a function of your individuality, in conjunction with thoughts and the emotional energy that those thoughts generate. Certain qualities of emotion, when sustained long enough, will become functional conditions in your experience of the physical dimension. Do you understand this? That certain thoughts generate certain qualities of emotion, and that when those qualities of emotion are sustained sufficiently enough, they become a part of your functional experience in this physical dimension. Wow. We would recommend that she be very mindful of her thoughts. See here. Got a question from TikTok. Somebody on TikTok. Biora, I like that. Biora. How can we not allow others' poor treatment and hurtful words affect our thoughts and emotions? That's a great question. How do you allow yourself to not be affected by other people's thoughts and emotions? Yeah, what they're saying to me right now is clear, decisive determination and differentiation. Understand that each of you, when you formulate a thought, that thought generates an electromagnetic quality in the form of an emotion that radiates out from your body in concentric spheres. That if you choose to give attention to the lower vibrational aspects of these energies, then you will find yourself being pulled into them. But from the perspective of being an observer, and you recognize that person is in a low vibrational thought, they're in a low vibrational energy, I'm going to transmit a vibration of love. You keep your energy into a frequency higher than theirs. This places you in the position of understanding that they are suffering. For anyone that would project a negative energy at you is in fact suffering in some way or another. They are suffering in some way or another. Have compassion for their suffering. Transmit your love to them. Transmit your compassion to them. But do not engage in their illusion, which will be their reality. For that person that is in suffering will believe their suffering is as real as your joy. And you can see this all across your spectrum of humanity. There are those that are living a very wonderful life, and there are those who are not living such a wonderful life. They are vibrationally attuned to what they are vibrationally attuned to. So if you choose to indulge in the observances you see of those suffering, you think, my goodness, they shouldn't be doing this. Well, then you lower yourself into the vibrational state of their energy. It is best to align yourself to the vibrational thoughts and energies that will best support and sustain your expression. Do not engage in them. Yes, there also somebody else is coming in. They're saying it's important to understand how to communicate to others that are suffering in such a fashion that enables them to surrender their suffering. There is a way you can learn to communicate with those that are suffering in such a fashion as to incline them to surrender their suffering. For you can learn how to do this to assist others to surrender their suffering. Suffering is not necessary. Until you believe it isn't necessary, you'll continue to do it. Wonderful. We got a question from Joel. Is there a message from my father? Thanks. There's some sort of there's some sort of a cloak. Something about a cloak to something put around you. Trying to put something around you. Cloak yourself. Yes. Don't. It's like don't reveal yourself so much to other people. Is what I'm getting from that. He's saying it's like cloaking yourself, covering yourself up a little more, not physically but energetically. Don't be so quick to reveal yourself to others. He says you were always like that. He says you were always really outgoing as a child. You wanted everybody to connect to you. He said you need to be more reserved now. He said, yeah, tell her to be more reserved now. Yes. But he's showing it to me as like this cloak that comes around you. It's a beautiful, it just makes you almost invisible. But yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Someone from TikTok is asking, how do you help others surrender suffering? What would I say to them? The first thing that you would consider saying to them is what makes you feel that way or what makes you think that way? Ask them. There are many of you that do not want to give up your suffering. You are so comfortable with it. This is part of the problem. Individually and collectively, there are so many of you that do not want to give up your suffering. But you can ask them, do you want to end your suffering? Would you like to not be in that pain? Ask them. If they do not want to suffer, then ask them, are you willing to do what you need to do to end your suffering? And then you can assist them. If they say, yes, I'm willing to do anything, then assist them. But they must want to change or they will not change. You cannot make the individual awareness change their own creative process unless they wish to do so. But always make certain that they are willing to surrender their suffering. You cannot take a bone from a dog that's hungry. And if one believes that they are fulfilled by the suffering they hold in their hands, then they will hold on to it dearly. Thank you. Question from Olena. What would be the most helpful thing I could do first thing when I wake up? Well, the first thing that they've taught me to do over the years is to really get into a place of being grateful. When you open your eyes, be grateful first that you've opened your eyes. Be grateful for the body you have, no matter what condition it might be in right now. Be grateful for what you have that is good. And spend like 5 or 10 minutes just focusing on the good in your life, no matter what it is. Focus on anything good in your life. That will begin to shift your energy. That will set the stage for a whole new day of experiences unfolding. and it can be really, really quite exciting. Thank you for that question. I really appreciate it. Got a question from Ellen Kostak. Hello, Ellen. My mom has Alzheimer's. I'm her caretaker. She's missing my dad. Any messages? I'm struggling to improve. Oh, he says he's really close to her. They're getting closer together, is what he's saying. He's so excited because she's getting very close to him. Yes. And gratitude. He's so grateful that you're guiding her home to him, that you're helping to lead her home to him. Tell her he is not far from her ever. He says he loves to place his hand on her face. He likes to place his hand on her face, and he tries to look into her eyes, but she doesn't see him as he is now, but she will see him. But he's really grateful. You're helping take her safely home to him. And he's very, very grateful. He loves you so much too. Thank you so much for that question, Ellen. I really appreciate it. The energy is, he's got a beautiful energy. He's a beautiful soul. Thank you so much. Question from Daniela. Which emotion causes Ivana from Italy to lose hair in bushels? Yes. I don't know who this is, but I think it's one of her guardian angels is saying, if hair were necessary for her happiness, she would keep it. She must understand that her pursuit of happiness is not in her hair, it is in her spirit. In the pursuit of her happiness, she will find what she seeks. But in the pursuit of her fear, she will find what she seeks. Wow. This guardian angel is female. She's saying like really clear. She's really being concerned about things she need not be concerned about. Your hair isn't the source of who you are. Your body is not the source of who you are. Your thoughts are not the source of who you are. Your emotions are not the source of who you are. Love is the source of who you are. Remember this, and you will have very little concern about such a trivial thing. Wow. Thank you so much. Question from Katya. Is the online project I want to begin a good decision for me? Any guidance? You got somebody who's pushing from behind. It's a strong male figure. He's got dark hair, like really almost jet black eyes. He's like trying to push you forward. But he says, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Let it go forward. Tell her to get rid of all the fear. He's saying, tell her to get rid of all the fear. Tell her to get rid of all the fear in this. She's saying that you're asking this question because of your fear. You're not asking this question because of what you really desire. He's saying you'll have a lot more fun when you do it from your love and not from your fear. Wow. Thank you so much. Great question. Got time for 2 more questions. Question from Jody. A good friend has just transitioned very quickly. His celebration of life is tomorrow. Does he have a message for everyone? I know that his physical suffering is over now. The first words he's giving me are whoopee, like woo. Yeah, he's very conscious. Yes, I just want to say something. When people leave the body, when the soul leaves the body, they leave their individual nature, but they will remember their individual nature when you think to them. A lot of people try to think, they communicate on a level of energy, not a level of the body anymore. But yeah, woohoo! Like celebrate life, celebrate life, celebrate life. It just keeps repeating that phrase over and over again. Celebrate life, like almost like a cheerleader jumping up and down. Celebrate life, celebrate life, celebrate life. Like celebrate it. He's like really adamant about that. Celebrate your life. As he says, I'm celebrating mine now. Yes, he's awakened. He says, I'm awakened now. I'm awakened now. Yes. Yeah, he will not be coming back. This one will not be coming back. Well, got time for one more question. Uh, question from Adam for Metatron. Is the Mandela effect really taking place within our reality? And if so, please explain how parallel realities are merging and why. He says they're not emerging. He says they're blending. They're always blended. It is nothing is separate from anything else. It's just that you're altering and changing, some of you, your perceptual capabilities. Many of you are awakening and beginning to recognize that you do not simply function exclusively as a body, exclusively as a mind, exclusively as emotions. You are a beautiful sentient being that has the capacity to move through all realms of experience. Those of you that are awakening are perceiving these other dimensions, these other elements, these other beings that do not live in the physical realm but do exist in their experience of existence. Do you believe that your physical existence is the only point from which you can experience reality? And yet you can lie in bed at night and go to sleep, and then you have this event you call dreams that is not of this world, but you have these dreams. And you know that you've had a dream and it's different from the world you have. There are different dimensions, and many of you are beginning to awaken to this. Keep awakening. Recognize that you are a soul, a spirit of universal light, not bound by matter, time, and space, but functioning through time, space, and matter creatively. That you can organize and orchestrate substance as a function of your consciousness, the way you utilize thought and emotion. But these other dimensions exist at all points of time and space, simply shifting your perceptual awareness away from the locus of the physical dimension, away from the locus of the mental dimension, away from the locus of the individual nature that you're existing through. You can begin to perceive these other realms that exist equally at all points of your time and space, but at different frequencies of perception than your eyes can see or your ears can hear through that body. Wow. Wonderful. Thank you, Metatron. And thank you, the other beings that came through today. I really appreciate it. And thank all of you for coming out. If you want to support this channel, you can do so through my Patreon page, patreon.com/William Michael Forbes. I hope you'll join me on Wednesday for our Wednesday shortcut editions for your soul. We are entering a very powerful time for human collective unconscious and human individuality. This process of ascension is real. There's a shift in our collective individual consciousness and our collective unconscious as a whole species. You are not that body, though you have it, you use it. It's a function of your individuality while you're in this dimension. You have a mind. It's not who you are. It's a collection of information you've gained through the 5 physical senses. You are an awareness, and you can bridge between the physical dimension and these other dimensions, and you can learn to do that. You can learn to open your consciousness up. You can check me out on my YouTube channel. You can also check me out on my website. Check out our upcoming winter and fall master classes. These are very powerful and transformative. Go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check them out. And again, if you want to support the channel, go to my Patreon page, become a patron supporter. We have one live patrons only event once a month on the 7th day at 7 p.m. every single month. So come join us for that. And I hope you'll come and see us on Wednesday. I've got the Divine Collective will be coming in on Wednesday, and I hope you'll join me there, 10 a.m. On Wednesday. Have yourselves a wonderful, a joyful day, and I will see you guys all on Wednesday. Bye for now.